What up, peeps? Welcome back to Fantasy News Today. It is Wednesday, April 6th. We're going to be talking Stefon Diggs. We're talking the Eagles and Saints trade. We're sprinkling in the Dolphins and Patriots trade. We're sprinkling in some Frank Gore.
I really can't hear you.
So here we go. We got a bunch of news to talk about. It is Wednesday, April 6th. We'll see you on the other side.
Run that intro, Bled.
As I make my way, the fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to waste. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Get your life together.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side.
Oh, you didn't know? You'll have to call somebody.
Oh, yeah. What up? What up? Fantasy Football Hustler back at you.
Hey, and I'm Bogard Schwarzenegger. Take your vitamins.
Yeah, and we're bringing you fantasy news today. Shout out to everyone who is tapping in right now. And make sure if you're watching this on Facebook, hop over to YouTube, type in Fantasy Football Hustler. And then shout out to everyone who's in the chat right now. Leave some comments in the chat. We got Antonio.
What up?
He said, I like that background pick. Hell yeah, we had to change things around a little bit. You already know.
Right.
Lee in the building. What up, bro? The guy's always bringing the news on all my social media. You're the man, Lee.
Yeah,
Rod in the building.
Lee is our boots on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
He's our inside guy.
Yes, sir. Devin in the building. What up, bro? Damn, Stu, he said he lost the 420 emojis again. Damn, YouTube. No worries, bro. You'll get that squared away.
I'll make the phone call.
All right. Speaking about getting some things squared away, how about Stefon Diggs getting a fat 4-year extension, $104 million, $70 million is guaranteed. That's $26 million a year. Got the bag.
Yep. He made the phone call. And you know what? He waited around and for being his age, right? And really only coming on technically the last 2 years. I mean, because before that, he had the 2019 season where he kind of broke out. Yeah. People were always on Stefon Diggs being a breakout, but his hamstrings and other soft tissue injuries said different the first few years of his career. Because I want to say he came in 2015, bud. You know what I mean?
And it was injuries. It was always injuries. Mm-hmm. That was always the thing with when he was with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. I might be wrong about 2015. Maybe it was 2016. But, I mean, 2015, I think I have it correct. You know what I mean? And he's been around. So and he's seen everybody else get paid. So to be, you know what I mean, within – and it was kind of a prove-it deal that he signed 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Gerard, he said he's still not a top 10 wide receiver in PPR. I think he's got a shot to be. I don't think they had too much help over there. He's getting double and triple teamed damn near every single play. We'll see what happens with Josh Allen though. He ain't going nowhere.
This is a fun little workshop right here. Let's do this real quick. Tyreek Hill stats versus Diggs stats, because I swear to God they're basically identical. Watch, look at the receptions. It's 111 to 113 or some shit like that.
Hold on, let me pull it up here.
Right? Then the yards are almost identical. It's the touchdowns that have a little bit of variance, but no one's ever saying Tyreek Hill's a PPR guy is my point. But look at these motherfucker stats. They're damn near identical.
All right, so let's see. So for 2020, we got, and I'll just let me see. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure you'll know.
I mean, 2020. It's a vast. Well, actually, it's not.
So here we go.
Go ahead.
2021. 159 targets, 111 receptions, 1239 for the yards, 9 TDs. That's for player A. And then player B has 163 targets, 103 receptions, 1225 yards, and 10 TDs. Player B.
Yeah. Give me. I think Diggs is B.
Yep, he is.
Yeah. See, the targets were even up for Diggs. You know what I mean? I mean, like, now you take away an annoying Emmanuel Sanders, an annoying Cole Beasley, and you bring in like a Jamison Crowder, and what it doesn't matter to me. This guy's still gonna see like 22% of the target market share at minimum. You know what I mean?
So they literally finished 8 points apart. Tyreek Hill had 8 more points for the season. That's
See,
it.
so, and nobody's ever saying Tyreek Hill is PPR. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I never looked at Diggs like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Diggs is still a WR1, however you cut it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, I mean, if you want to build all these PPR guys, you know what I'm saying? Just go running back heavy and then, you know, get you the Keenan Allens and the Juju Smith-Schusters and the, you know what I mean? Get those crop, if that's what you want, get those crop of guys, you know what I mean? That are just going to pile up, you know, dummy receptions. You know what I mean?
And David P said, I'll give you a 4th and a ham sandwich for Diggs.
Hold on, man. If you said Italian, we might have been. He said just a regular ham, bro. I was like, nah, come on.
Antonio said, I'm happy Crowder finally on a winning team. I always liked him on the Jets.
It's pronounced Crowder.
Crowder.
It's French. Say it right, Frenchie. Simpsons give me money.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see what he can do on the Bills. I mean, it's like him and Gabe Davis, you know, like those are like the 2 and 3. We don't even know who's really going to be the number 2, even though we think it should be Davis.
I mean, they bring in Dawson. They had Dawson Knox. They bring in OJ, the Juice Man Howard.
Yeah.
Right. But he's more of a blocker. I mean, it's not going to be Brian Dable anymore. So, like, what is if Sean McDermott has more say in how things get done, they're going to want to run the ball more. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So when you bring in something like OJ Howard, that shows me. But I'm not tripping at all because this is a team that like threw the ball damn near 60% of the time. And then when the weather got cold, they're like, you know, we can run this thing too. So you know what I mean? And they carried that off into the playoffs. So I'm curious to see what happens because what I'll say is when you have something like Diggs and Gabriel Davis and like Dawson Knox, that's cool. You know what I mean? But like I still see them in line to get something here in this draft. You know, a lot of people got them taking Breece Hall. I wouldn't even doubt if they look at a receiver here too. You know what I mean? Because you know Gabriel Davis, for all we know, he's probably best fit as just a number 2 guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could
so
be.
Like you might need to draft a young incumbent receiver. You know what I mean? That you can mold to be a guy. You know what I mean? And there's hella in this draft. I'm just saying, like teams, I think should be gearing up according to the skill set of the quarterback. And Josh Allen can throw like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's why you see them they're the top of the league at 4 wide receiver sets. You know what I mean? Like that. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's not necessarily 4 wide receivers per se, but it's 4 wide. You know what I mean? You might have two tight ends lined up out as receivers. Like they do wild shit over there. You know what I mean?
And Antonio said, what do you think Crowder is in Dynasty? Like a wide receiver 4 or 5. Like, I mean, I got to see a little bit before I even like get him into the wide receiver 3 category.
Yeah, he's a throw-in in a trade that in my near future. That's how I look at him.
Whether it's someone you're trying to trade for and you're like, I need an extra piece to make me feel better.
I'm throwing in Crowder.
Or the other way around. Someone else needs an extra piece to feel a little bit better about the trade.
You know what
Either way, he could be on the coming in or coming out. We just don't know. What up,
Hess? I mean, because you got
time to smoke. 420 Central. Here we go.
Yeah. When you're talking somebody like a motherfucking Crowder, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about like a Beasley. He's just gonna be a better Beasley. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, what are you hoping he gets? 4 targets a game? You know what I mean? And he has to be efficient with them. Like,
And that's probably not even happening. Like throughout the entire season, I bet he doesn't average 4 a game.
And here's the thing: is that this is a team they scheme against personnel that they're gonna play against, right? Like when they were playing against the Buccaneers, they were like, this hella pass rush is coming. So that was a game you would look to a Beasley. That's a game you would look to a Crowder. Is what I'm saying. Is that like if they're playing somebody with ferocious pass rush because the ball's got to come out quick. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the only times. You know what I'm saying? When you really dive deep into it, when Beasley ate, again, I think he also ate against the Colts last year, if I remember correctly. But it was always teams that was just coming at him. You know what I mean? So he had to get the ball out.
All right, let's get off the Bills. Let's switch it up to something that affects the entire league. So the NFL owners, they approved the Colts and the Eagles overtime rule proposal where both teams get the ball. Now, this is playoff games only. Regular season's going to stay the same. I don't like it. I'm going to smoke this bowl, and Bogard, you give us your thoughts on what you think of the rule.
I don't like it. I think it stinks. And then, right, like off top, you know what this is going to do, right? That means if a motherfucker's going to overtime in the playoffs and you win that coin flip, you're deferring. If you're a badass team, like, and you know it because you obviously in the playoffs, right? Whatever team it may be, you get that overtime. You win the coin flip. We defer because if your defense can stop them motherfuckers, there goes their possession. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they didn't score a touchdown on that shit, that's their ass.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then we get a chance to touch the ball.
Even a field goal, that's still probably your ass.
Yeah, and then we get the ball. And it's like, listen, now I only need a field goal even. I guess I kind of like this is one of those rules you'll like it when the team that you're a fan of fucking benefits from it.
That's the only time too, because for fantasy football, it's never going to make a difference. Because, well, I mean, we do have the playoff leagues that I'm always getting in and starting this year. We actually had 13 of them joints. So I mean, for cases like that, I'm okay. I'm all right with it, I guess, just because it's going to add more football. But I still think that the first 60 minutes should mean something, and it should mean like almost damn near everything.
I mean, like, how come in the regular season it's going to be what it do? You know what I mean? Like always, like we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs going to, I mean, I don't know. I kind of don't like that.
I mean, the OT rules were already different for the playoffs because the regular season you can end in a tie, even though it rarely happens.
Taco, I know you're out there in the world right now, Taco. You know what I mean?
It's going to be the Giants who get screwed by this, and then Taco's going to have to give his real take after his team gets screwed by it somehow.
I mean, listen, he's all about this switch, but like he only got it for the playoffs, and I think that's the worst time. Like, I mean, I guess you can't do in the regular season because ties are a thing.
Fornicator in the building. What up, bro?
Okay. You know what I mean? But I just think it's pussy, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just that would be the smart thing to do. It does strategically change it. Like, like I said, if we're in the coin toss in playoff overtime now, a motherfucker's more inclined to defer that thing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's no point to get the ball first. Just like deferring at the beginning of the game. It's because you want the ball later rather than first. You want to put the ball in the other guy's hands, make them fuck up first. You
get the options now, right?
Yeah.
Like when you got the ball first, you're like, okay, all you gotta do is your whole thing is it's the game plan. Okay, we gotta try to milk as much clock, get down the field, long lengthy drive, and then score, right? And then if that happens, so you deferred it, right? Then that team, they eat all this clock, score a touchdown. Now your game plan is kind of written for you.
Well, and still, like what you just said, that's literally the worst that can happen, and it's still not that bad at the end of the day.
No, because now they already set the plan for you. You're like, okay, now we only got X amount of time. We have to go hurry up. You know what I mean? Now we got this. Like, all of a sudden, your options become more narrow and concentrated, and those, when you have a Tom Brady in that situation, or you have a Patrick Mahomes. Or Josh Allen, like, these motherfuckers. Aaron Rodgers historically just does this.
Yeah.
I mean, Stafford did it a couple times in the playoffs. I mean, even to come back against the Niners and to come back against the Bengals. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? Some of those motherfuckers, they thrive on that too. Like, you know what I mean? I would much rather have that. And then there's trusting your defense. Like your defense could just like stifle them, and then you just get the ball. And then now your options are now you have your whole array of options that can end in a field goal. So it cuts the field in half. You know what I mean?
Jay Levin, what up, bro? And before we transition into our next topic that we're going to talk about, I got to remind everybody about a new podcast that me and Bogard are starting here. It's called the Silver Screen Breakdown. So it's going to be in podcast form everywhere, but it's also on YouTube. We're going to have live streams, and the first one is going to be this Saturday night. I believe it's going to be starting around 8 or 9 Eastern time.
Silver Screen Saturdays is what they'll call it.
Oh, yeah. And the first movie that we're breaking down, one of the best of all time, Pulp Fiction. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah.
So make sure, go subscribe. Go hit that subscribe button right now. I just threw the link in there, and it's the Silver Screen Breakdowns this Friday. Set your alarms, all right? We'll tell you again. Don't worry. Now, the next topic that we got to talk about is the Eagles and Saints trade. Now, this is like a stew trade and a bogey trade if I've ever seen it, because if there's no players involved, it is all picks. And here it goes. The Eagles trade away 2 first-rounders this year, the number 16 and the number 19, and they trade away their 194th pick in this year's draft. So they're trading away 3. They're receiving the 18th pick this year, so they're getting back, first right in the middle of those. The 101 and the 237, but they also got a first rounder in 2023, and they got a second rounder in 2024. So they traded away, the better picks for this year, but they got 5 picks overall. And I think they wanted that 2023 to make sure that they could go after a QB somewhere.
Yeah, so I like that for the Eagles, right? Okay, first of all, before we get to this, which side of the trade do you think I am then, right?
I think you're on the Saints receiving side. Because that's a win right now.
Yeah,
trade.
I'm the Saints, and like you don't get multiple picks to be like, all right, we're moving up to get a pass rusher. Right. Especially in the draft. I guess that wouldn't be far-fetched, but not like this is a move that you like the QB here and you want to get in range. You know what I mean? And right. and if you are the Detroit Lions and you're sitting at 2, and then now here come the Saints knocking, they're like, we want this pick. They grab Malik Willis and they ship off the 2 picks they got immediately, right?
Yep.
Oh, hey, you never know. Maybe they only have to give up. No, they're gonna have to give up multiple to move up. So yeah, let's just say that they give up the 2, they give up the 16 and the 19, right?
Yep.
And then Detroit could still technically get a speculative QB. You know what I mean? Like a Kenny Pickett or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, I even with Malik, what do they say about him? He needs to sit for a year.
He's raw. Like that's the whole thing. Like he's really raw. And, kind of like a Patrick Mahomes. Like if Mahomes would have started the first year, I don't think he comes in MVP form. That first year of sitting like really did him well. And you already see the Saints. Another move that they made was they went out and they got Andy Dalton as the backup. So if they go out and draft a Malik Willis, you already got the veteran backup there as well. And what better way for a guy like Malik Willis to come in than with a guy like Winston who could teach him some things, and then a old school vet like Andy Dalton who can really teach him some things.
This is dope for the Saints because I don't think they're trying to rebuild. They're trying to reload.
Right.
You know what I mean? Get their QB immediately. Then they could still compete with Jameis and or what's his name? Andy Dalton. Because when you look at that defense, their defense is ready to rock.
Oh, yeah. You know and what's one of their biggest weaknesses on the offense?
The O-line and receivers. You know what I mean?
And I was and wide receiver is what I was thinking. With that 16 or 19, if they go wide receiver there, they're going to be able to get someone fire.
Yeah. And granted, if they can't move up is what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. And you never know, too. Like, if they are thinking QB of the future, maybe moving up just that one extra spot to the 16 gets him in the conversation. Because listen, the Steelers might try to move up. There's going to be all kind of people that's going to try to move up. Like wherever the Giants is at, people are going to be like, look, the Giants don't look like a team that should be looking for a QB. You know what I mean? So there's going to be a lot of points where teams can jump up and try to grab a QB, but this is how you get armed to jump up all the way to 2. It's 2 first-round picks in this draft. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll see. We shall see. Because I really don't think that the Lions are going to go after Willis. I don't see it. But I know there is a whole bunch of speculation around that. I just really don't think they're going for it.
I mean, they're playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. They have the number 2 pick, so you know what I mean. And Malik Willis went on the tour. It ain't like he didn't just go to the what is it called, to the Lions. You know what I mean?
Right.
He went to the Falcons. He went to the Steelers. Like he went visited all these teams. You know what I'm saying? But, that's just Detroit posturing. Like, listen, if y'all want him,
because
you got to come get him.
Because it's crazy how, the second overall pick has warranted almost, more than the first overall pick.
Because we know that Jacksonville, they've been started their rebuild last year when they got Trevor Lawrence. So now they're going to go pass rush here for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, or maybe they shock the world and go linemen. That wouldn't shock me. That would be actually smart in a lot of degrees. But when you bring in someone like Arden Keys and Foylo Tune, what was his name? What's his name?
Foyo Lacoon.
Yeah, Foyo Lacoon. And then who was it? You know what I'm saying? You add Hutchinson or something like that, bro. It's just all of a sudden this defense is a unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Josh Allen there, and I know they let go of Miles Jack, but still, it's all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of nasty.
Yep. Pass rush is going to be real nasty right here at the top. So all in all, I think both teams kind of won for what they were trying to do. But I can't wait to see what the Saints do if they do try to parlay those 2 picks into a higher pick, top 5 pick somewhere. Or if if they fuck around and get a lineman and a receiver, or fuck around and get 2 receivers, I could already hear me talking about Jameis being a top 6 in fantasy. Yeah,
I'm just going. I'm gonna overblow it.
Before we fully get off the Saints, the last thing that we got, so some news from Dennis Allen came out. They were talking about Taysom Hill, and they said that now he is going to focus solely on playing tight end.
Yeah, which is dope, because you know why? Sean Payton crazy ass isn't there no more. What is Sean Payton's this guy Taysom Hill was the teacher's pet, bruh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's the guy. Hey Sean, I thought you said I could play quarterback. Hey Sean, listen, you promised me, Sean. You know what I mean? And he's like, you know what, Taysom? You know what I mean? Because that was just weird, bro. And
I told you, man.
How annoying was that for Drew Brees even?
Taysom Hill had some dirt on Sean Payton, and I'm telling you, the shit was about to hit the fan this year. That's why Payton got out of there. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was something about his wife. Maybe Sean Payton's doing some dirty stuff on the side. Who the hell knows? But I know Taysom Hill had some dirt on him.
He caught Sean Payton doing the voodoo.
Oh no! Yeah, Stu, you the man.
What up, Big Stu?
Smoking up for Stu. Yeah, and Jay Levin said money saving move with Hill. Yeah, that funny contract. I mean, shit, more than $100 million contract. Before they restructure it, that's just savage. Savage. All right, let's see. Who else we got here? So some other news. Let me get back to the top here. Okay, this one's just for you and for anyone who's a fan of Frank Gore. We got to shout him out. He signed a 1-day contract with the 49ers, going to officially retire from the NFL. 16 seasons, 38. He looks the exact same at 21 or whatever it was, that picture, when he came into the league. He's the man, dude. 16,000 yards, third most in the NFL on 3,700 carries, over 4 yards per carry on average, 4.3 yards per carry, 81 touchdowns, 484 receptions, damn near 4,000 receiving yards, and 18 touchdown receptions. And let's see, second team All-Pro in 2006, 5-time Pro Bowler. And probably, if you've been playing fantasy as long as me, since, 2006, I mean, that's when I started. You've been playing since around then at all. Frank Gore's been around, and you've seen him been a top back for fantasy a lot.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Frank the Tank, bud. He's, man, just one of the greats. And, like, people can hate and be like, well, he only got numbers like that because he lasted so long. Yeah, because he lasted so long.
The average age of a running back is like 2.5 years. Like, we're talking about him lasting 16 seasons.
Shit's crazy. I mean, like, it's so crazy because didn't he was just with Josh Allen like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Like, he even knew where to go. Like, before that, he was like, what? He was floating around the AFC East a little bit. And then he was at the Colts. That was the other long stint.
And that was when he like a big resurgence from
he was
him
like,
too.
I'm gonna go play with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, and he finished as a top 10 that year, I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Yeah,
it was like,
2014.
And there you go, Stu. He said, you've been playing. Yeah, you've had his
2015.
ass on your team at some point if you've been playing as long as we have. Hell yeah.
2015.
That's Frank Gore's the man. It's funny. Frank Gore and Patrick Willis made me low-key 49ers fans because for fantasy, those were always the guys that I was trying to go after back in the day. Always made your team dope. So we just had to shout out the great one, Frank the Tank.
The immortal one.
Yeah.
Frank
And has said Terrell Owens wants to play and get a bag again. I say get that man some avocados and get him a contract. Hey, that's all he needs.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man, he was talking hella shit today on McAfee.
Yeah.
He was talking shit. He was like, listen, he was like, all these guys, they're getting the big money at receivers these days, man. They ain't even Hall of Fame. They don't even deserve it. He was talking shit, man.
Man, T.O.'s always talking some shit. It's good for TV. It's good for TV. All right. We got to talk about the Rams, though, because, man, the Rams keep getting richer and richer now.
It's the Hollywood Rams, bro.
I'm telling you, man, this is straight Hollywood style, going out and getting Bobby Wagner, a 5-year, $50 million deal, max value of $65 million with all the incentives that they got going on. The middle linebacker spot, they've always had B-listers. And I know Bobby Wagner's getting a little long in the tooth, but he's still an A-lister, if A- at worst. He just had the most tackles that he's ever had in his career this past season.
Yeah. What did he lead the league in tackles 2 years in a row now?
I don't think he led the league in tackles, but he had a shit ton.
Yeah, because he did miss some time this year. And that's still crazy because he still had a career high in tackles. I'll tell you this much, man. I called this shit immediately. And I was on Steezy's show. That's where it was. Because I was waiting backstage for him to bring me on. And this was the day Russ got traded. And then while he was like, what? Breaking news? And like, so I got to see his reaction.
Yeah.
When he found out they got rid of Wagner. So when he eventually brings me on the screen, the first thing I say a bunch of shit first, but then I eventually get to like, listen, he's gonna go to the Hollywood Rams. Like, you know what I mean? Von Miller, at the time, Von Miller was still a free agent, but at the same time, it was like, listen, that Von Miller already did that. He's kind of a free spirit. He's gonna go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right? And he did. And I said, watch, B Wags is probably gonna wait till it all settles down. He's gonna go to the Rams.
And Dan has said Bobby Wagner is going to help him get a chip. Bobby Wagner's the man. And Ron said Huss has a man crush on Wagner. It's because he is always so fucking good. Like, do you know he's never went under 100 tackles in his entire career? Not one season has been under 100 total tackles.
This is watching a Hall of Famer play.
Oh yeah,
every
single year.
And then what's crazy is like now he gets to go rock with Donald and rock with Jalen Ramsey and you know what I mean, they got a bunch of other young cats over there like Taylor Rapp and Evan Jones and like
All right,
they got.
Now for those who don't pay
hold
attention,
on, my man Leonard Floyd too, bro.
and you know why Bobby Wagner is going to fit in so good there. So if you look at what he did last year compared to just years past, he wasn't really rushing the QB. So his point total was really high. I mean, an IDP 1, 2, 3, he still cracked 300 points. So that's damn good for a linebacker. But he only had 1 sack. He only had 1 forced fumble. It was those tackles, though. 170 total tackles on the year. Like, that's fucking insane.
I mean, that also is a testament to how bad the Seahawks were, that like teams were always defending a lead by running the ball on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just always like, they're just in the box tackling all day because they're playing from behind.
So here you go. There was 1, 2, 3. He had 4 games where he was underneath double-digit tackles.
Were those games that the Seahawks were winning?
You know what? I can't see I can't see the scores here. One of them was versus the Rams. The first
they
time
they lost both times to the Rams.
Yeah, so no, these were not ones that they were winning.
Okay.
But that's it though. Just 4 games. He played 15 games. He missed 2 games. So if you average out his 170 tackles, 11 tackles per game is what he averaged last year. His highest tackle total in one game was 20 total tackles.
Damn.
That's fucking insane.
20.
And I know Stu's pissed about that. He wanted to get Bobby, but you can't have Wagner and Parsons on the same team. They do too many of the same things. Oh shit! And Steezy heard us talking about Wagner and popped in. What up, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the building.
I was just saying that, right? Oh, that's right. I was just saying when I was on Steezy's show, I was talking about how, man, he's probably gonna go to the Hollywood Rams. You know what I mean? And this is such a Les Snead thing to do because Les Snead, man, they're rock stars over there, bro. They just want that, like the big names. They're, you know what I'm saying? Pack them in the big stadium, brand new. It was funny is like, even, when you really look at the consensus, bro, there was more Bengals fans there because Bengals have them as bad as they've been. They still got more fans that showed up to the Super Bowl, bro. Like the Rams fan base is still one of the smaller ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And before we get,
it's funny, they need to jam pack it with all this. I mean, they're doing it right. I wish more teams did that. You know what I mean?
Got to go for it. It's the young coaches, I'm assuming, that are pushing them to go for these kind of things.
I mean, look at McDaniels right now. He's a Yale graduate. He was like doing a formula on the whiteboard. He was like, carry the.
But see, you know what you just. It's just what you said right there. It's just what you said right there. The Yale grad. I think that these owners finally have someone that they can legitimately say is smarter than me. I better listen to them.
You feel me?
If it's just a former, football player or something like that, maybe these fucked up owners in their head are like, man, this dude's just like a football player. Like I still know what's best. But yeah, you start getting some Yale grads in this motherfucker, some mid-30s who are way smarter than you. Maybe they just start listening more.
Like I hate coaches like Jim Harbaugh. How about that? I'm saying it. I hate him. Rah, shit spoon by my ass.
Before we get off the Rams, so Aaron Donald, he's coming back. So there was a bunch of talk about that he could retire. So we're just throwing it out there. He's coming back, and both sides are working on negotiating a new deal for that man.
Who was talking about again? My bad.
What?
Who was talking about again?
Aaron Donald.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's probably look when you really look into Bobby Wagner's deal, it's really only like 2 years. And it's like, I think it's like 11 or it's like 9 million a year, something like that. Anywhere from like 9 to 11 million a year the first 2 years, and that's pretty much it. It's something like that. I'm ballparking like a mug, paraphrasing to the max. But you know what I mean? Like they bring in a B-Wag for that type of deal, fully knowing that because they're about to they got to do some type of extension to appease their biggest star. You know what I mean? Aaron Donald.
Now their biggest Super Bowl, winning star.
Mm-hmm.
Get that. Pay that man his money.
Yeah.
I need to get that damn drop. I need that.
The Hollywood Rams, they'll figure it out, bro. Hollywood got all the money, bro. Somehow.
It ain't nothing but money. Spend that shit.
Right?
All right.
Sean McVay's like, they call Sean McVay. They're like, oh, we got B. Wagner. And like, yeah, that's cool. I'm on my yacht. You call me when it's day 2 of the draft.
All right, let's get into the AFC East and talk about this Dolphins Patriots trade. I mean, shit, we never really see interdivision trades, like this. And the Dolphins,
you do, and when you see it, it's New England involved, like New England with the Bills or New England with the Jets, like
figuring out.
It's always been Belichick.
Just finessing them. So Dolphins are sending over Devontae Parker, who's been a lot of nothing, and a 5th rounder in exchange for a 2023 3rd rounder. So the Patriots didn't even give up shit this year. They got an extra 5th rounder, Devontae Parker, and then they gave up a 3rd round for next year.
I mean, because you know what it is too? It's just to get the jump on a guy they were going to release. And if you got the jump on him and got that existing contract, it's really only $5 million a year for the next 2 years. Right. So you get a receiver for your young QB. And what's funny is because isn't this so New England? Like it didn't matter who it is. If it's Tom Brady, they'll be like, you know what, Tom, I know you want OBJ, but we're just gonna try to get Josh Gordon out of the house. You know what I mean? Like there was all these, the Juju's of the world and even Juice Landry's out there. Like I can see that if they bring in Jarvis Landry, now we're talking here. I'm like, okay, Mac Jones is like gonna be decent. You know what I mean? Because Mac Jones was already like showing some flashes, and for a team that's gonna run the ball a lot, you're gonna need some big targets down the field for that play action. You know what I mean? Even just a red zone target, you got to have more threats than just a Hunter Henry. And I mean, a 50-50 ball guy is not just what Devontae Parker is. That's just how people used him. You know what I mean? Like this guy's a good receiver, man. I mean, look at what he did with Fitzmagic. Fitzmagic at that point, the Harvard grad. I'm just gonna always point out these guys' schools.
You have to, man. You got
the Harvard grad Fitzmagic. You know what I mean? Studied in the fields of magic. Yeah, he majored in wizardry. He came through in this motherfucker and just tore it up with Parker. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that he's gonna get targets like that, but we're talking about a receiver who's probably gonna get like a 20% target market share on a run first team. You know what I mean? So we're looking at like WR3 with some upside. You know what I'm saying?
Which is a lot better than he's been on the Dolphins over the last couple of years. And Stu said, we're such cap geniuses that we traded away Amari for a 5th and Cleveland restructured him like we could have done. And they're paying him less per year than we did to get rid of him.
He called him the Black Kirk Cousins, Stu. Remember that? This is all factual. He did not want to go back. He said, listen, Prescott came – what did I always say about Prescott? I always said he's kind of an Uncle Tom. I'm on record for saying this. And I can see Prescott. He goes, he needs to get out of here. You're like, who? Cooper.
There's too much negativity around him.
Cousins. I am not having that. I'll be in my deprivation chamber.
And before we get off the Patriots signed up former Giant safety Jabril Peppers, got him on a 1-year deal. Now, this is very Patriots-like, especially the way that they deploy.
They're going to have him play nickel.
They could.
Because they got Dugga, right?
Yep.
Kyle Dugga. Who else do they got over there? They got my man Phillips, Adrian Phillips.
Yep, who beasted.
And all these guys are multifaceted. You know what I mean? They can get in the box. They can play, free safety. They do it all. They can play nickel. He's going to be another version of that.
Yeah, and you still got McCourty.
Yeah, and this is what he wants to do is that he knows McCourty's getting longer in the tooth, and he already been, they already been let go of the other brother, the other McCourty.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's just doing business as usual. You know what I mean? They know they brought in Jalen Mills last year, gave him 2 years ago, gave him a big old bag. Yep. He's not really working out. So and then look at what do you know? Hey, Jabril Peppers, come over here. Here's like some scraps. I'm telling you, the dark side of the force clouds the mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Belichick began with these because Jabril Peppers could be a bad motherfucker, man.
He was solid last year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been solid for a lot of years. He gets hurt like that. That's his big thing. He's always getting hurt. All right, let's stay in the East and let's bring it over to the Dolphins, giving Xavien Howard getting his contract extension, 5-year, $50 million in new money because it's an extension on top of it. And the new deal, it averages out to $25 million per year.
Good for him.
Get that bag.
Because the Players Association always rooted for him because he always wanted to reset the market. And he had been. This has been an ongoing thing for the last couple seasons. Remember, like at least two off seasons in a row, he's talking about, hey, y'all need to pay me. Y'all need to extend me. They gave him a cheap extension. When his first rookie contract was up. You know what I mean? And he been wanting to reset the market, but it was funny because other guys weren't getting paid like that. So he kind of. So of course the Players Association, they want to push for this, like, no, reset the market. Look at that, you said 25 a year.
Yeah, and so it's he did set another another record or whatever when it comes to the contracts. It's the most new money average added onto any contract, and it said it was by over $5 million a year.
That's crazy.
So yeah, he was already one of the higher paid cornerbacks in the league, resetting the market again, getting the bag. And you need it. You need it over there in the East when you're going up against Josh Allen. You're going up against, the Patriots.
I mean, think about this. Him and J.C. Jackson, they were always going 1 and 2 and leading the league in picks the past couple seasons.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, these motherfuckers just everywhere, bro. And like, here's the thing with Xavien Howard. You got damn right. He was already one of the highest paid, and he had a problem with that because he's like, I want to reset the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But ain't nobody else was, like I said, ain't no other cornerback was getting paid yet.
Yep.
So it's like, it really took him to like, fuck, I got to reset it again. You know what I mean? He didn't want to just match the market because who was up there? Like Stefon Gilmore, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jalen Ramsey first and foremost, right? Stefon Gilmore. What other big name corners is getting the bag right now?
There's a couple.
Tre'Davious White. White.
There you go.
It's funny too because I'd be happy for these guys when they get injured in that fashion because, and I know it's fucked up to say that, but he got his bag first to start last offseason. You know what I mean? Actually, two seasons ago in the COVID offseason, that's when he got the bag.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because if you remember, he was talking about wanting to perhaps opt out. You know what I mean?
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. But then he's like, fuck that. Give me a bag, baby.
It's right in there.
Psych. Give me the bag.
Nope. Jair Alexander. He's still on his rookie deal, but he's going to be someone who wants a big bag if he has a good season.
See, this is what's fucked up too, is because the Packers, they're like, hell yeah, he was hurt all year last year. We played good. Yeah. Because it was like, now there's no leverage for the agent and the player. You know what I mean? They'd be like, listen, we can do this without you, man. Take this or leave. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I could see that happen with a Jair. Why would you want to lock into this team with Aaron Rodgers? Like it's so stupid when they got rid of Adams because I would feel like, hey, if everyone's there in the locker room, I'd be like, man, ain't none of this gonna be lasting too long. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Jair Alexander, that's a motherfucker that probably come to my Niners. Let's go. I'm speaking it into existence. Next year, 2024, Jair Alexander to the Niners.
There we go. And all right, before we get to some more offensive players, got to shout out a defensive player, someone who's been an IDP stud for at least the last 10 seasons. Malcolm Jenkins officially retiring from the NFL after 13 seasons. 34 years old, 2-time Super Bowl champ, won the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then won it with the Saints. Yep.
Yeah, with the Saints first. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because that's where he started his career, went to the Eagles, then went back to the Saints. He was there his last 2 years, and he was solid all the way out, too. So this was, he's 34, but I still thought he may have another year or two in him. But
he
hanging him up.
He accomplished like so much, bro. If you think about it, just the one Super Bowl is enough. Then he gets the 2, and then the fact that he got it on 2 separate teams, like, you know what I mean? Like, not like, when you get to the NBA, when you look at the NBA, you got guys like Fisher, right? He got Derek Fisher, got hella rings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was just part of hella different teams, right?
Robert
Like,
Ory.
football is different because when you're someone like Malcolm Jenkins, like when they won with the Eagles, bro. Like this guy is the guy who had to he had to make plays on Gronk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that when you're at war and you're looking for the pieces to fill, that was one of those pieces. Like, okay, you know what I mean? We gotta bring a guy that can crush these tight ends, like whether it's a Travis Kelce or Gronk or whoever the fuck. You know what I mean?
And there you go. Ron said Eagles don't win the Super Bowl without him. I mean, maybe
Mm-hmm.
the Saints too. I mean, their defense was really nasty back then, and he was one of the cornerstones too, even though he was young. And yeah, he said that he saved the defense after losing Dawkins. Yeah, it's tough.
It was all the goddamn what you call this, bruh? The goddamn what is it called? Onside kicks, goddamn it.
Yep.
The goddamn Saints was tricky.
So one time he was a first team Pro Bowler, one time second team Pro Bowler, and or first team All Pro, then one time second team All Pro, and made the Pro Bowl 3 times.
Hey, listen, bro. In a shocking turn of events, they're gonna pick up the phone call, and they're like, "Hello, yeah, this is Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, is this the Hollywood Rams? Yes, this is the Hollywood Rams. Yes, you know what I mean?
It could happen. You never know.
Happen, but yeah.
Nah, it would. I don't think it would, but that'd be funny. Hey, Junior Seau, he actually retired, gave his Lou Gehrig speech, and then came back and played for the Patriots.
I mean, listen, bro.
We know he wasn't good in the head though.
He was like, I gotta give me one more chance.
Yeah,
one more chance at it.
And they go 18-0, and they couldn't get it.
19-1. What was the total?
18-1.
18-1.
Eli.
Oh man.
All right, let's get over to the AFC West. And Stu, I know you're going to take a little victory lap for this one, but Randy Gregory, he underwent arthroscopic surgery on his rotator cuff. So he's going to be out during OTAs, but is expected to be ready by the start of the season.
And I mean, everyone knew this because that was the whole reasoning behind. Because remember, it should have been a no-brainer for the Cowboys to want to keep Gregory and then perhaps move on from Lawrence because Lawrence wanted the big old money, whatever it was. Remember, we covered this.
He's still getting big money. It was like
but then in a shocking turn of events, all of a sudden we're covering that Lawrence got the bag. And you know what I'm saying, and that they were having trouble with contract talks or negotiations with Gregory.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then that to me, this is where the Bogard move comes in, where Gregory's like, all right, well, they're making sense. They because they're like, look, you gotta get a shoulder surgery. You gotta take this money here and you keep that star on your helmet, America's team. And he was like, all right. So now here's the Bogard move. He's like, okay, I do need a surgery, but I can tell the Broncos, look, this is what they're offering me. And you know what I mean? You can match that.
Yeah.
You match that. I'm coming through because he got the same exact deal. Then he goes through and he's like, hey, by the way, guys, gotta get the surgery.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there we go. Just playing the game.
Yeah. So I mean, now I kind of respect why they didn't pay him more because they just knew like he could be a liability. You know what I mean? He was just trying to secure more money, knowing that he's going to go undergo surgery.
And even though, I mean, anytime we hear arthroscopic surgery, you know, we assume it's something real small and they should be coming back, no problem. But we still do not know. He's a little long in the tooth.
Yeah. And arthroscopic or scopes or whatever the fuck. I mean, usually those are like, you know what I'm saying, a couple months.
Cleaning up some chip bones and shit like that.
Yeah, but also at the same time, right? Like, here's where Dallas did the Bogard move. They're like, well, you know, you're a little older, and I don't care if it's just a procedure. It's still a surgery. You know what I mean? Like, however you spin it, they weren't finna pay him. And you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, Gregory, he came out on top. He's probably smoking weed right now in Denver. You know what I mean? Legally. And he ain't tripping, dude.
Yeah. All right. Now, something new that we had, not player related, but NFL related and things that they have to do. So now every single NFL team is required to add a diverse person, female or a member of any kind of minority on staff as an offensive assistant for 2022. And it's because there's a low representative of women, people of color, and just like the offensive coaching positions, offensive coordinator, QB coach, offensive line, tight end, really just all the offensive side of things.
I swear to God, I'm going straight to some fucking Ivy League schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going to find me a motherfucker I can groom like how Shanahan had the Yale grad motherfucker. A motherfucking Mike McDaniels and his motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to go find because Ivy League schools is chock full of minorities, bro. You know what I mean? These are the motherfuckers that are changing the world. You know what I mean? The white folks is just taking the credit for it after. You know what I mean? They're the ones that got the corporations that like the motherfuckers cure the cancer. Like, listen, you know what I mean? Let my company, our company will back this and we'll put it in motion. You know what I mean?
Yep. So this is good to see. I'm excited to see what comes from this, but I bet it does turn into some more Mike McDaniels.
I mean, okay, you want to know why they had to make this mandatory? It's because they were saying if you hired people of color and then say they go on to become head coaches, you get compensatory picks. Right. It wasn't like everybody was rushing out to just have one in pocket. They were really just only interviewing motherfuckers because that's all you were mandated to do. Right. Interview one, and boom, the Rooney Rule. Right. Yep, we interviewed them.
We did our part. We did what we were supposed to do.
And that's where Brian Flores was getting hot about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was like, boom, bring in Brian Flores. Okay, now bring in Brian Dable. Boom, you got the job.
Yeah.
You feel me? So it's like, this is cool because look at my point is that like they were giving away compensatory picks and people still weren't doing it. So now they have to mandate it. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we got to color this thing up. Yeah. All colors of the rainbow, bro.
Yeah. And, they gave him a chance to do it. People obviously weren't doing it. This probably is a big, fallout from the Brian Flores shit. And what he was saying, how people are getting interviews knowing that they're not really going to have a shot at getting the job. That shit's not cool.
For real, bro. Hey, Brian Flores just got it all the way bad, huh? They were like, listen, we'll pay you to lose.
I mean,
and then after he's the martyr. And shout out to Mike Tomlin because Mike Tomlin was like, listen, bro, come on over here, bro. Yeah. And he looked at the defense like, oh, shit, it's all mine.
Yeah.
He's like, it's all yours, bud.
Yeah, that shit's awesome because Steelers, they're definitely a defense that can contend.
And then you know what they did? They were like, did you see them cut Miles Jack? Brian Flores like, I'm already on it. They brought in Miles Jack, bro.
Real quick.
I should have drafted that motherfucker. I should have drafted that motherfucker in that draft where Stu ended up drafting Miles Jack. But
I really like Jack. I don't
think Josh Allen. I drafted Josh Allen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be anything more than a role player, a C-lister over there.
Still, though, like just the fact that motherfuckers get hurt. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. There's some injuries. Yeah. He could get into the right spot.
Even Schubert was getting in some decent work last year being like a rotational guy. You know what I mean? They let him go. So it's like I feel like Miles Jack's going to just insert Miles Jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Schubert had that fat ass contract. I mean, that was really just a contract dump.
Yeah.
From Jacksonville is what it was. And he hasn't even got picked up yet, which is a real big surprise to me because I mean he's 28 years old, but he's been solid the last couple years. I mean, minus last year because getting traded in the middle of the preseason and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super curious to see where Schubert ends up. And let's see, we got a couple more pieces of news before we get out of the AFC West. We got the Chiefs signing Ronald Jones to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Why? Because you really thought CEH was gonna come back?
Just like it just sucks because it's like now we have to bank on a CEH being like a guy involved in the receiving game, and we just still haven't even really saw that. So that's really That's really just being wishful thinking, you know what I mean? And Ronald Jones is like, if he's gonna fill like the Darrell, the double barrel Darrell role, I mean, it's just it could be decent, as a RB3 ish, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also Ronald Jones is just yucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think this hurts CEH too much. I mean, definitely doesn't help him, but I don't really think it hurts him. And then so two more pieces here. So the Eagles, they actually signed former Chargers linebacker Kassim White to a 1-year deal. I'm excited to see what he does over there because Alex Singleton, he's always kind of been like an afterthought, like for fantasy, he's been good because injuries like keep happening. But Kassim White has been so solid the last 2 years for the Chargers. And we'll get Bogey's thoughts on this in a second. As you can tell, Daddy Daycare is in total effect. And Ron said, I think having the mandate makes the league look so much worse, though. I mean, we already know that all these owners are like really bad with all this. So it just kind of is what it is. Roger Goodell had to do something. Like it puts a huge spotlight on the fact that no one is. I mean, Flores put a huge spotlight on that.
Okay, what were we talking about with the Chargers and whatnot?
We're talking about how the Eagles signed former Chargers linebacker Kassim White to a 1-year deal.
What? That's where he went?
Yeah.
I mean, like, damn. You know what? Because he deserved a bag, though.
Yeah.
And he wasn't finna get it from the Chargers.
No.
Not when they go over and bring over. They trade for Khalil Mack. And they did the Chicago Bears a solid. I was actually talking to Fornicator about this earlier today. Is that the Chargers did Chicago a solid by picking up the rest of that contract. And, they didn't restructure Khalil Mack shit so much that, like, these are the bigger money years. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
And they're like, the Chargers are like, yeah, give us that shit. We're trying to do our best Rams impersonation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to get all the biggest names. Yeah. The Hollywood Chargers. The Tinseltown Chargers.
And I saved the best one for last, though. So Antonio Brown, he's always figuring out a way to kind of keep his name lingering around. He came out and said that he is not going to undergo ankle surgery until a team signs him.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. And I laughed hella hard because this is the ultimate Bogard move. This is high-level, third-degree Bogard shit right here. You ready for this?
Yeah.
He is trying to pull the not even finesse, just straight up the blunt force Bogard. You're like, hey, look, I'm 34, and you know who the fuck I am. You're going to pay me money, and then I'm getting the surgery. He's like, these are hell of a demands, bro.
I mean, he can't afford to pay the chef. That's why all the drama came out. I mean, he's got some other people who probably need to get paid. I mean,
are you telling me he doesn't have he doesn't have health insurance, bro?
That's what I'm guessing. Like, maybe when he got
to get a surgery, that's gonna be bad. That's hella raquitos, bro.
Hey, maybe when
that's hella banditos. You know what I mean? That's bands on bands.
When the Bucks cut him, he knew he was screwed. He knew he was gonna have to come out of pocket with it. He wants an NFL team to pay for that.
Antonio Brown needs to go to Mexico and get one of them because those doctors are phenomenal and they'll do it for the low.
And David P said he needs brain surgery. He's definitely taken a couple blows to the head that is messing up his perception of the world.
He's a few cards short of a full deck.
You know what? I was trying to think of what all the funniest ones.
He's a couple medicine tablets short of a full medicine cabinet.
Here's one that I like. He's a sandwich short of a picnic basket.
I like that. You know what I mean? He's an Antonio Brown short of a football team. You know what I mean?
And what up, Antonio, coming through on Twitch. Appreciate you, bro. So the real question is, which stadium will Antonio Brown be taking his clothes off at next year?
I mean, maybe the Cheetah Club. Maybe he starts dancing for the girls.
Oh, like in Las Vegas at the at the Godfather's Cheetah Club.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. He'll get on that thing. Wearing football gear, and by the end of it, he's in nothing but a banana hammock, bro, and some J's on.
I don't know. why I just thought of like the Will Smith episode.
It's like Magic Mike, but like in Vegas. It's like it'll be a reality show. He'll blow up again.
In my head,
I need to call Antonio Brown. We can really do this.
In my head, I instantly cut to the Fresh Prince episode where Will was the stripper.
Will and Carlton, because they lost all their money.
No, it's not that one. So this one was
when they get stuck, right?
No, that one wasn't a stripper contest. That was just a dance contest. So this was in like episode 2 or something like that, where they pawned off.
Oh, the car.
No, it was something with the bracelet. They sold like they pawned off their Aunt Viv's bracelet or something, and they had to get the money back, and shit fell through. And so then Will was going to be an exotic dancer, but for some reason,
there was a dinner, and they were at the dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And so I don't
remember
like, how
take
it happened.
off, and she was like, put it back on.
And he covers his nipples, mommy. That's the one.
Hey, it's funny because anytime you can get Carlton to do some dances, it's funny because you never expect him to kill it, like Michael Jackson and shit. You know what I mean? Like he can hella dance and shit. And then Will is just doing like all the hood dances and shit. You know what I mean?
There you go, Antonio. Remembered it. He said he thought of that Will Smith episode too. And yep, it was the watch or the bracelet. One of the two. All right. Well, I appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. This is the only live stream that we're going to be having this week, except for the one that we got tonight. Tell them about it, Bogey.
Well, I'm probably not going to be there. But our man Luigi, and he's a riot, bruh. He's definitely a couple screws loose of an engine. I don't know. I'm trying to make fun of. How about this? He's definitely a couple tools short of the tool shed. Oh, there you go. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. There
you go. You were combining them.
Yeah.
Ron said, he's got to get the vodka out for this one. You know what that means. And every time Bogart says it, I'll do it.
Yes. And look at this. Here's another thing. It's the conclusion of our mini series, the bracketology-isms. You know what I'm saying? The real fantasy playmakers. This time we're doing the Sweet 16 NFL offseason winners, bruh. You know what I mean? Just whole ass teams. Who is killing the offseason? And this is obviously talking, we're including trades, pickups in free agency, even reworks of contracts, re-signings, whatever the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? And we got the Facebook group. Maybe if you want to drop the link in that thing.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now. We need more votes. So click on the link. It's in our Facebook group, the Fantasy Football Advice Experts, Gurus, and Beginners. It's in the pinned post right at the top. So all you got to do is just go to the page, and it's right at the top. We need more votes so we can really separate the top 16 from the bottom 16. But right now, I'll give a little spoiler because I don't know if there's going to be anybody who takes this spot is the Rams. The Rams are the number 1 seed as of right now, and the Dolphins are the number 2 seed as of right now. And we'll see if anybody can come mess that up before we start.
I'm sure the Broncos is up there. You know what I mean? If my Niners get to the top 16, they're going to lose that first round because they do not belong anywhere in this tournament.
Not at all.
No. And that's what we'll do, too, when we open the show. We'll just briefly mow over the other half, the group of teams that didn't make it. You know what I mean? And why? Because they suck. Niners.
Yep. And Bogard hasn't voted yet, so he's going to go vote right now. And let's see. We got Spencer the Guru. He's already in there. And let's see. Ron already got his votes. Antonio, go vote. And, we need everyone to go vote in here because this is going to be dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Eagles are right in there. Ron. I mean, I only read off 2 teams or whatever.
I bet you Ron didn't even vote for the Eagles. I bet you he did. He's like, don't forget about the Eagles, but he's the first one that gets critical on the Eagles. Like, hey, look, how about this?
And Stu
Everybody-
said, how about them Cowboys? Well, this is a vote for who is winning the offseason. So I don't think we're going to see the Cowboys on this episode, bro. They're definitely not winning the offseason as of now.
Mm-hmm. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody tune in. It's always the late show on a Wednesday for the East Coasters. 9:30 p.m. East Coast time, 6:30 p.m. West Coast time. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple of errands to run beforehand. You know what I mean? And but yeah, it's gonna go down. It's the triumphant return of the playmakers.
Yeah, I'm throwing the link in the chat right now so you guys could click it. Go ahead and set that reminder right now. And if you guys didn't go see the interview clips that I uploaded an Adam Rank interview a couple days ago, James Coe. We're going to have the clip from the Schmitty interview coming back. And we're going to be getting into some rookie content coming up next week. And then don't forget about the Silver Screen Breakdowns. Saturday night, Silver Screen Breakdowns is going down this Saturday. Hell yeah. So we're out. We'll see you then. Peace.
Peace.
As I make my way, the fact I'm still alive, my claim to fame. It's no surprise I'm on a rise, finna stake my claim. Separate me from the others, cause we ain't the same. Ask my brothers from another, we ain't for play. Time is money, so we got no time to wait. Soon as this thing's moving, it can't be stopped. Blue bands in my pocket, call that juggernaut.
In the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Get your life together.
You know the stat quo. Finna get a bag, bustin' down that blow. Out of East Side.